A couple who looked like they were dating came into the convenience store. A man asked me something in English. I knew he was speaking English, but I didn't understand what he wanted. So, I called the store owner for help. After talking with the man, the owner gave him 2 cups of curry and some chocolate. I was surprised that the owner could understand and speak English so easily. I said sorry for not understanding English well. The owner told me that it's normal to have trouble with a new accent. He said the man was from Australia. The next day at school, I told my teacher about what happened at the store. I asked if there's a way to understand different English accents better. My teacher said, it's normal to not understand a new accent at first. It's not because your English is bad. It usually takes about 3 weeks to get used to a new accent. That made me feel better. Then I asked, how can I understand Australian English when I've never been to Australia? The teacher said the best way is to meet and talk with Australians. But if that's hard, watching Australian movies can help you get used to the accent. After school, I went back to work at the store. This time, 2 women came in and asked something. They didn't speak English well and talked slowly. Again, the store owner helped them. He used short and simple words, just 2 or 3 at a time. And they understood him. After they paid, he smiled and said goodbye. After they left, I told the owner that it was cool how he used easy English to help them. The owner said that sometimes it's important to speak simple English. Then the owner gave me some advice because he knew I was stressed about English. He said, it's not about speaking perfect English. It's more important to help the customer understand you. If they feel comfortable, they will want to come back. The next day at school, I told my teacher about my experience with my boss. And the 2 women who weren't very good at speaking English. My teacher said, that's good. English is about conversation, and if you can master just 1,000 commonly used words, you'll be able to communicate simply. The teacher also said that you can form basic sentences using just about 4 words, which makes it easier to communicate in any language. Some students think that learning English means speaking like a native speaker, having perfect pronunciation, using perfect grammar, and making no mistakes. They think that if they can't do that, it means they're not good at English. And when they're not perfect, they feel embarrassed. But that's not true. The teacher said, you are already doing great, because you can speak some English. If you keep practicing, your shyness will slowly disappear. I really liked what the teacher said. I also feel shy when speaking English. So I don't speak much because I'm afraid of looking silly. But after hearing the teacher's words, I decided to be a bit braver. Then, another student asked, sometimes I know I want to say something, but I don't know how to say it. Then I just stop and don't know what to do. The teacher said that when you start speaking English, you need to prepare for one thing. There will be moments when you don't know how to say something. In those moments, you need to learn how to explain the word you don't know. This is a very important skill when learning a new language. People who don't speak English as their first language can't know as many words as native speakers. But you can explain almost any word if you practice this skill. You need to train yourself to express ideas using the words you already know. For example, if you don't know the word key, you can explain it as a tool to open a door. I'm really happy not only because of the teacher, but also because I'm able to join this language class. I like this class because there are students from many different countries. Some students are from Europe. Some students are from South America. There's also one student from Japan and one student from Korea in my class. Since everyone avoids using their native language, it helps me a lot to learn English. When talking with classmates, we have to use only English. It's very good for practicing English. Today, we got a new student in our class. Her name is Helen. At the beginning of the class, Helen said that she thinks she's not good at learning languages. But she wants to work hard to improve. The teacher asked her, "Why do you think you're not talented?" Helen answered, "I think my younger sister is very good at learning English quickly. So, I think she has talent, but it's hard for me." Then the teacher asked the whole class, "Do you think you have a talent for learning languages? If you do, please raise your hand." No one raised their hand. The teacher smiled. Then the teacher said, "Let me tell you something. Many people think you need talent to learn a new language. I agree with that. But here's the thing, you already have the talent to learn a language. Why? Because you've already learned your native language successfully and can speak it fluently. Anyone who can learn their native language has the talent to learn another language. So why do many students think they're not talented? It's because there are some people who are naturally better at learning languages. People with a talent for languages can learn new words very quickly and remember them for a long time. It could be someone at work or in your family. There aren't many of these people, but they do exist. Helen's younger sister might be one of them. For these people, learning a new language is fun and easy. But here's one thing I want to ask. Don't compare yourself to people who are naturally good at learning languages. They are lucky and have an advantage, but you are lucky too. You might have a talent for other things like singing, swimming, tennis, or cooking. You could be better than others at those things. Not everyone is the same. That's the beauty of the world. Now you can believe that you have talent too. If you believe you have talent, learning English will feel easier. The teacher's words really helped us a lot. I know that I'm talented in soccer and tennis. Now I realize that I have a talent for learning English too. Then a girl asked, So, how can we speak English fluently? Should we go to parties and tell jokes? The teacher said, if you want to speak fluently, you need to practice speaking. There's no other way to improve fluency. Speaking is a physical activity, so you need to train your body for it. It's like playing a musical instrument. To play the violin, you have to train the connection between your brain and your finger muscles. The next day, a girl asked the teacher another interesting question. Thank you for the advice about learning English. Can you give me a summary of the rules? A simple list of what I should do every day to learn English well. The teacher smiled and said, "Sure, I'll give you a simple summary. To get better at English, you need to do 3 things: read, listen, and speak. You probably already know this. The important thing is to spend about the same amount of time on all 3 activities. If you skip one, your progress will slow down. From my experience, I can tell you that it's important to spend at least 90 minutes using English every day. You don't need to study, but you need to actively use English." Let me explain each activity in more detail, starting with reading. You should read for at least 30 minutes every day. This is the minimum amount of time. But don't read just to study English. Read to gain new information. Read to enjoy interesting stories. I know this sounds repetitive, but it's really important. Next, you should listen to English for at least 30 minutes every day. Again, choose topics that interest you. You need to enjoy getting information. Start with simple audiobooks or news. Then, gradually move on to more advanced books and news. Once you know about 2,000 words, you can start watching movies and videos online. And you need to start speaking as well. You probably already know how important speaking is when learning English. To put it simply, it's important to speak for at least 30 minutes every day. Of course, the best way is to have real conversations with people. This could be with your teacher, classmates, coworkers, or friends. Try to find someone at your level or slightly better, and have conversations with them. But if you don't have anyone to talk to, you can still practice speaking a lot by talking out loud every day. When I was learning German, I often used this technique. In my daily life, I didn't have any native German speakers to talk to. So, I used these 2 techniques to improve my German. As you can see, learning English is simple. You just need to read, listen, and speak. Now you know how to do it. It was my last day at school, and I needed a summary of what I could do on my own. Over the past 4 weeks with my teacher, I've learned a lot and really improved my English. My teacher knew that today was my last day at school. She said, I had anything I wanted to say to the other students. I was really happy to have joined this class, and to have met so many great people. I also wished the other students success.